Good morning, everyone. In the previous classes, we have already discussed about the classification of psychological tests and ethical issues, characteristics of good tests, etc. So, this slide or this class, we are going to discuss about the factors influencing test administration. What are the factors influencing when you are conducting a psychological testing or when you are administering a test? What are the factors? There will be some influencing factors which will affect the test administration. So that we are going to discuss in the coming slides. So there are mainly three factors that are influencing the test administration. It is all related to the examiner or the tester. We can call test like that. And the next one is test taker, and who are being the subject or who are under a psychological test. And the other one is test conditions, the situations or the environmental factors which are going when the psychological tests are being conducted. Yes, the factors related or the factors influencing the test administration includes the tester, and that is examiner's condition or the examiner's influencing the test, and test taker will be influencing the psychological test, or in the case of test administration. And here we can discuss on the tester, how it is being influenced with the tester. So mainly it is being related to mainly 3 points. So something related to expectancy of the trainer, and the training of the trainer or training of the tester, and the reinforcement of tester. So we know that expectancy, it is something that the person is thinking about, or especially something good will happen, right? And or it is a state of thinking or hoping that the person or the tester will hope for something. So that may lead into, or it will influence the psychological test. And the other part is training. It's all related to the training. So the who are conducting the test, especially who are administering the test, they should be very good trained in the they'll be a very good trainer, or they'll be very well trained in the area of the psychological test what he or she is going to be conducted. And the other one, that is related to reinforcement. So we know that it's based on some outcomes of based on the outcome, the behavior of the person will be done, or the person's behavior will be promoted. So most probably it may related to the subject's response, how they will be responding. So it is being a fact of included in the case of influencing factors under the tester or the researcher or experimenter. So these are the main three areas which are related to the influencing factor from the side of the tester, that is expectancy, and the training trained of the tester, and reinforcement which are given to the tester. And the factors influencing related to the test taker, that is it is all related to language, and the other one is subject variable. So you know that language is an important area in the psychological test, that we have already mentioned some of the classification for that, and it is related to that the language is not maybe a problem which from if you are conducting the test in the Indian context, that questionnaire is in the language will be different. So for that, so test taker, they will be facing a problem in the case of when the language is in trouble. So all the tests should be done in the case of what they have understand. So that is one of the important area that it is a main area influencing the psychological test. So it should be understand to the client or the subject. So on that base these psychological tests are being classified. We know that we said that some of the subjective and or objective type questions and some of the performance tests. So these all being related to the problem with the language, and the other one is subject variable. The other important factor influencing the test taker, that is subject variable. So we know that uh, some of the variables with the subject, it will lead to some of the it will analyze or it will affect the result the test is being conducted, and it is also accounted to the experiment, or it is accounted to the experiment or data analysis also. And some of the example we can then you will understand some of the examples related to including the age and marital status and religious affiliation and some of the intelligence of that person. So these are some of the subject variable. This can be changed. There will be some changes can happen in these areas. We know that we will be giving some of the subject variable in front of the psychological test or questionnaire. It is all related to optionals, and in some cases it is being must that mentioning the marital status and age of the participant and the religion of the participant. So these all will make uh, changes. So that's why it is also an important factors influencing the psychological test. And some factors are not under the control of the administrator. So that is, it is all related to the test taker, that is how fatigued a test taker is, how he is being under fatigue, and the motivation level of the test taker when the time of conducting the test. And the other one is the physical discomfort of the participant. So, and test anxiety when they are undergoing the psychological test, or they are being projected to the psychological test, they will be facing some test anxiety, and the physical discomfort, that is also influencing factors. And the other important area related to the factors influencing the test administration, that is the testing conditions. So when you are conducting, where you are conducting the situations, and the physical environment where you are conducting the psychological test, that is controlling the physical environment. So that is an important uh, area that will influence the both, that is both tester and means both examiner and test taker. So this is an intermediate or interlinked condition between these two individuals, like examiner and test taker. So testing condition should also be comfortable for conducting the psychological test. So otherwise it also will influence both how it is, okay, or what level this physical environment is. It's first one, we can go through some of the physical environment related to light levels. So if it is a possible light they are having to conduct the psychological test, it is okay. And in case of some psychological test, like uh, when you are conducting the test, like some of the tests including they need some of the good daylight. So in that cases the light levels are very important, like color deficiency test. So for that test, color deficiency test, they should be having very good clear daylight for conducting the color deficiency test. And in the case of the other one is temperature, it will also, we know that automatically it will influence temperature, and the noise level when you are conducting the psychological test, it will also influence, and the ventilation, that is proper uh, air circulations, or the situation, air situation, or comfortable for the breathing. So these all will also influencing the psychological test. So these are all relating to the conditions, testing conditions, and minimal distractions. So only you cannot be go for distracting to the uh, participant or subject for the psychological test. So these all will including like these test conditions or the physical conditions or environmental conditions. These all will control the or influence the psychological test.